Hi, Kristina. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm fine. Enjoying the sun.
Yeah, it's lovely. So how did you start Workaway and how did you find out about us and what were your first kind of experiences?
In 2019, I think it was a volunteer project, but it was not with Workaway. And after this project, it was just in my holidays. I was really excited about this, and I was like, oh, I want to do this more and often. And so I took a look at Google and I did some research, and then I found Workaway, and it was like, oh, it's amazing! It's working in Europe. It's working like everywhere. And yeah, so I decided to join into the Workaway, and because exactly, because I saw at Workaway you can say, oh, I have a dog and I want to travel with my dog. So it was really easy for me to just look into who would accept a dog. So because before it was always so, oh, it's not possible to do all this with a dog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's very well into my next question. So tell us all about Tate. What inspired you to bring him along?
So as I said, I did a volunteer project before, and this was in Asia, and I wanted to do this in a long term. So I'm doing Workaway since over 1 year already, and I didn't want to leave him alone with my parents. So I was looking for places where I can bring him, and yeah, that's the way how it started with my dog.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how do hosts and volunteers tend to react to you bringing a pet? Is it generally a positive response or?
Oh, they're mostly really happy.
That's nice.
But I have to say, the most Workaways I do, they already have animals, so Tate is just on top. But sometimes they're a little bit confused about I'm traveling with the dog, and then they ask me, "Oh, you're here through Workaway?" And I'm like, "Yes, also the same platform." And some people don't know that it's easy with the dog, and so yeah.
So how do you travel with him? Because I can imagine that must be quite difficult, maybe with border crossings and things and vehicles, and I know you've been traveling long time as well. So how do you guys get about?
So I'm traveling without van, or I don't have a car, and just my backpack and my dog, and he's quite small dog. I can show him.
Oh, we'd love to see him, definitely. Oh, hello, Tate.
Hi.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
So he's really small, as you can see. And so I was flying with him, and it's no problem because I take him with me in the cabin. I just have to go to the vet. It's mostly 1 day before I fly or before I cross the border. And then he has a European passport for pets, and they make a check if everything is okay, if the vaccinations are all done, and deworming has to be done, and then you have to check the countries where you go, so if there are special vaccinations he needs, but you can always ask the vet, and then they check everything for you and do everything what you need. And yeah, you have just to be a little bit earlier at the airport because it takes time. You have to get him out of the basket, and then the people at the airport are also happy about the dog. They hold him like, oh, nice. So nice.
Yeah, it sounds easier, I think, than many people would expect.
Yeah, I was also really surprised. I was at the beginning like, oh my God, it would be so stressful, but he was calm, he was chill, everything was easy going.
Yeah. So if you're mostly traveling by foot with a backpack, I assume, what are your must-have tips for packing light? And also, how do you do that with a dog? What are your must-haves that you've got to pack when you're traveling with a pet?
So must-have, I would say it's a bag, but depends on the size of the dog. If you have a really big dog, it's hard to, if you don't travel with a van, hard to carry a huge bag for the dog. And I have a really light bag. It's like a sports bag, and I can fold the sports bag too, so it's not a hard case. So if I don't need this, I pack it just in my backpack. And when I travel with him by foot, and I'm using always trains, buses, sometimes Uber, so I can just unfold it and he can sleep in his bag while we travel.
Oh, he goes in the bag. That's so cute.
Yeah. sleeping in his bag, so he has a nice blanket inside his toys. And what I also did at the beginning, I always carried lots of food with me for him. I'm not doing this anymore after 1 year, because I plan now when I stay at some places. I just buy really what I need for the beginning, and then when I arrive at a new Workaway and I know I will stay there for 1 month, I'm coming just with a little bit of food, and then at my first day I go to the shop and buy the big packages, or I cook for him, so it's easier.
So I know that obviously you must care about animals deeply to be taking a dog with you. I noticed a lot of the projects that you gravitate towards are around animal welfare. Like, what draws you to those kinds of projects?
So I always loved animals and I wanted to help animals. So I started to do these projects with animals. And at the beginning, I was in a dog shelter and we were looking if Tate is okay with other animals, with other dogs, cats. Everything was fine. And later on, I decided to be at other places where they have pigs and rescue chickens. So we also look, I sometimes I travel to this Workaway place before for just 1 day to look if Tate is fine, if I'm fine with that, so no one is stressed. And then I spend just a day there, and then I go back to my other Workaway till the time comes. And then when we all agree it's a good fit, I go back to this place so he can be free with the other animals. And yeah.
It sounds like you guys are keeping really busy. What's been your favorite Workaway experience so far? Do you have one that you could kind of pick out?
Oh, it's hard. I have too many. My favorite. Yeah, I think it was the animal rescue place in Portugal. Yeah, I think this was my favorite place to help, because you don't only make friends with humans, you make friends with animals, and it's really nice.
Twice the amount
And
of friends to make.
And the nice part about this is you can always come back to the Workaway and you remember the animals and you're happy to see them again. And this is what I did. I'm right now at the very first Workaway I ever did. I came back.
Lovely.
So it's really nice to see some dogs of them here again after a year, like meeting old friends.
Oh yeah, it just seems so lovely to have a life where you're constantly surrounded by animals, to be honest. I'm quite jealous. Have you got any words of wisdom for people who are thinking about joining Workaway but they're a little bit nervous?
My biggest advice is don't be scared to travel alone and do this alone. Just do it. And I always think, what could be the worst part? What could happen? Maybe you don't like it, but then you go back. So and you go back with a good experience for knowing yourself better. So it's not even a bad thing. And yeah. And with Workaway, you're never alone. Even you travel alone, you always meet people, especially to help people who have an idea or have a special goal, and then to help them to make it realize, to make it to something they can really later say, oh, we built this with this people and this people, so I stay in their mind, in their memory, and so that my dog can join me in this experience and can just run free in the garden. It's really nice.
What has Tate taught you about traveling? Because I imagine that it must be interesting seeing an animal's perspective as well as you're going about. So has he kind of given you any pearls of wisdom as you've been on the road?
Oh yes. For example, he teach me to enjoy more the moment. Because when I travel with him, I'm at new places and then I'm sometimes overwhelmed and I need to take pictures of this, and there are so many new things, so many people, and for me it can be overwhelming sometimes. But then I just watch him and he's sitting there enjoying the sun, enjoying the small things, a little bit grass here, and then at the next place there is a beach and he's enjoying the beach. So he's not looking back like, oh, I missed this other place. He's just in this moment, and I think my dog is my biggest inspiration.
That's so lovely. That's really sweet. It's been absolutely lovely talking to you. I hope you enjoy your second time at your first Workaway. If you're listening at home, this is Workaway TV. Check out our blog for more posts. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.